This is another tutorial based on using the pattern effect, that you can actually create a pattern and apply it to a fill of an object. I'm going to go to the line segment tool and go down to the spiral tool, and I'm just going to create a simple spiral. I'm going to make it red. The stroke, I'll make it 2 points, and then what I will need to do is go to Edit, Define Pattern. Now when I do this, I will give it a name. I'm going to call it Swirl 2 because I've already created one before. It will appear in the swatch palette right here. If you zoom down, you'll notice I created a swirl and I've got a Swirl 2. So that will simply creates it and puts it in your swatch menu. Now I'm going to delete what I had drawn because I don't need it any longer. And then I'll create a shape. Let's just create a square or a rectangle, and I'm going to remove the stroke. Now, as with the brushes, that applies to the stroke. A swatch can apply to a stroke or a fill. In this case, we're going to apply it to the fill. Let's do Swirl 2. Now notice it just brings it in kind of perfectly lined up and scaled to the original shape that I created. Now in order to rotate it or to create any kind of scaling, I have to use the rotation and scale tool. So let me double click on the scale tool, and instead of the object, do a pattern. And notice with the preview off, you just see what you had, but click the preview on. I'm going to do a uniform, let's say 30%. And that'll be okay. And we can also do offsets, but I won't worry about that at this time. And then we can do a rotate, and remember to select the patterns only. Now this allows you to rotate that. Now you can, as we did with the other exercise, you can layer objects one over the other. So let's create another rectangle, and rather than have it filled with a swirl, let's do kind of a tone on tone here, orange. Send that to the back. Notice how we get kind of a damask pattern, something that's like tone on tone. Notice as we change the colors, it will affect the way the actual pattern looks. So this is a nice way to create something like a wallpaper effect in any of your designs. This could be the background to something, and then you would create other images over the top, maybe using your brush patterns that you've created. So this is a pretty basic feature. So you just draw any shape. It can be filled or stroked or both. Then you go to Edit, Define Pattern, and it will put it into your swatch window, and therefore then you can apply it. Again, if you want to apply it as a stroke, I'll just show you what that would look like. It'll look rather bizarre, but you'd have to scale the stroke up a lot. Now if we go to Scale, Scale Strokes and Effects, and we'd have to stroke it, get it really small for it to be visible. And notice it only shows half of it, because it basically knocks a hole in the pattern. So again, using these types of patterns in strokes, it's usually not advisable. Now if you have a little dot, that might work really well, a specialized dot. But play around with those, just see what you like. Again, this course is not really long enough and intense enough to give you all of these details as a testable lesson, but I did want you to know some things it could do.